On the world stage, I think they've been minimal. I think he's done some good things domestically, like the health programs and so forth. But on the world stage, just to be objective about it as I can't think of many nations in the world where we have a better relationship now than we did when he took over.
Wow. Wow. That's Jimmy Carter saying you failed. No, not quite, but you get my gist here. Jimmy Carter, of course, a big backer and big believer in Barack Obama when he's running for president, said that it opened up a new era that would be a positive one for the world, essentially saying on the world stage, no, things really haven't changed much. Mort Zuckerman on that. It wasn't too long ago, Mort, that the president was saying, you know, under his stewardship, the United States has regained its prestige, respect around the world, and now Jimmy Carter is saying no.
Well, I have to say on this particular issue, the facts are with Jimmy Carter, not with President Obama. We have lost a huge amount of support amongst our allies in Europe, just as a start. Almost every one of them is just appalled at what we are doing or are not doing vis-a-vis the development of nuclear weapons with Iran. They all come out in a different place. Never mind in the Middle East. We've lost the support of Saudi Arabia, of Egypt, of Jordan, all of our allies in the region. Never mind Israel, of course, which is now put into the crosshairs of Iran, who's going to have nuclear weapons.
We're apparently getting closer to a deal.
No, that is a deal, all right. It's a bad deal as far as I'm concerned. And this
so you and Donald Trump are on the same page there.
Well, we are not quite on the same page. If you saw the pages of the Daily News, you would realize we're not on the same page.
No, I realize that. Now and then I watch that, and I wonder... You do get phone calls, don't you?
But they're all collect calls.
But, you know, the one thing I can't fathom here, and maybe it's just something I'm missing, when the president normalized relations with Cuba today, many say after 53 years, it's time to move on, et cetera. How do you feel about that? How do you feel things change as a result? Because this is part of this new globalization the president has talked about, and stuff that Jimmy Carter once did as well. Now, I guess on some of these other issues, he parts company with the president, but what do you make of that?
Well, look, I have no problem in improving our relationships with Cuba. Cuba is not an existential threat to the United States, nor to our major interests in the world.
Yeah,
but if you
the Republicans are very against this.
Yeah, well, I understand it's everybody has their own shibboleth.
Right.
But what I would say here, when you're talking about a country that's about to become a nuclear power that threatens all of our allies in the region, that has outraged our allies in Europe, and is one of the most radical Muslim countries, and you are sort of easing their way to developing nuclear weapons. That, to me, makes absolutely no sense.
Well, this stance about Iran and being suspicious, I mean, to do a twist on frozen, maybe you got to let it go. Isn't that the idea that if we never talk to Iran, if we never engage them, we will never improve this?
I have no problem with engaging with Iran. The question is, on what terms do you agree? If you're talking about a country that you're going to now, in effect, endorse their nuclear weapons, and they're emerging as a nuclear power and giving them all sorts of benefits in the way of, we had sanctions, which is the thing that really made them come to the negotiating table, and we basically are walking away from the sanctions, which was the one point of leverage that we had on Iran. This makes absolutely no sense.
Do you know when we sign a deal, do all those sanctions go away? Is that the $60 billion bonus they talk about, those lifted sanctions?
The sanctions are going to go away.
And that's what the Iranians are really hot on. All this other stuff, not so much, but those sanctions go.
We don't even have the right techniques and technology to supervise whether or not they stay with the agreements they make, whatever the agreements may be. And what you're talking about is, just think it's the Soviet Union. We had to deal with the Soviet Union. We didn't want to go to war with them, They became a major, worldwide counter to the United States and our basic, shall we say, opponent. Wow. We try to deal with them on a realistic basis. Well, now the Soviet Union is in a different place, but Iran is going to destroy our whole national interest in the Middle East. Never mind what it's going to do to one of our allies, but just in terms of all of the countries that we depend upon. They're in an uproar. They're outraged at what this administration is doing. This makes no sense to me.
And they're all on the same page now as Jimmy Carter.
They are, and a lot of other people are too.
All right, Mort, always good seeing you, my friend. Thank you very, very much.